Heal, commune, grow. That is the power behind We All Grow Latina. And Ana Flores has a vision for empowering women in a very special way. Ana, welcome. Nice to have you with us.
Muchas gracias, Carlos. I'm excited to be here.
Tell me all about We All Grow Latina. Where did that start? What's the beginning?
10 years ago in a very different industry. Really, it began the moment I launched my blog called Spanglish Baby. I was a mom blogger. So it really led me to finding the community that I was craving, which was of motherhood. And I found it online. But then once I found the community, I realized that there wasn't a community of Latina moms that were talking about things that mattered to me, which were raising bilingual kids. And how would I teach Spanish to my daughter? How would it be effective? Where could I find books? Where could I find movies? Where could I find the resources that I needed? And I wasn't finding it. The few Latina bloggers that were around at the time, mostly mom bloggers, were connected via Twitter and via comments. Instagram didn't exist. Facebook groups didn't really exist yet. And we were connecting and finding each other via hashtags. And I put out a hashtag on Twitter that was like, where are the Latina bloggers? Hashtag Latina bloggers. The We All Grow Latina really started out as Latina Bloggers Connect in 2010 with a blog that I created on my own at home with the baby while she napped, and a Google form where I said, if you're a Latina blogger and you want to work with brands, sign up here. And I commit to doing the work of finding that money and monetizing the work that you do so that you can continue having a voice in this space. You can make a living while doing it and providing valuable content, resources, and community that we all need. Within a week, I had over 100 that had signed up. Within a month, I had signed my first client, which was Sprint, and then McDonald's, Neutrogena, Clorox, and it just boomed after that. So we were the very first network of Latina bloggers.
So you go from like mom blogs to corporate entrepreneurship to ideas and to taking people and saying what's your passion and helping them with that. Tell me about that's a big arc.
It's a big arc, and we continue on that arc because we continue pivoting with where the community is at. So our community is a digital community, and digital continues to change, right? And to evolve. And as digital continues to evolve and offers those tools that are accessible to a community that were previously inaccessible tools, right? Like marketing. Digital marketing, launching a brand, creating a brand was not something that was very accessible to people that were just launching a mom and pop store. So when entrepreneurism started really growing within Latinas, and we know now that there's data that 5 to 8 times more the amount of businesses are being opened by Latinas than any other cohort in the country, right? So by nature, we're entrepreneur, but now we have this space and the tools that allow us to really amplify and grow that. So We All Grow Summit was our first conference in 2015. Last year was going to be on our 6th. It was canceled because it was going to be in May. And really, We All Grow Summit started out as a conference really focused on bloggers and YouTubers. But by the second year, we were attracting entrepreneurs.
Wow. And
by the 3rd and 4th year, activists, poets, artists, etc. Because what was happening was that Latina women with the drive, Latina women with the passion, Latina creative women were finding that sisterhood in their community that is so important in really in anything that we want to do to grow our business and personal development.
Well, I think it's really interesting because there is I'm going to use the word ignorance, but that may be too tough a word. A corporate ignorance as to the power of the consumer, and especially the Latino or Latina consumer. And they don't seem to understand just how powerful that is and how important it is of a marketplace for them. And so to support that is, I think, key to the success of We All Grow. So We All Grow Latina. So tell me about what you do to message that.
Listen, as you were saying it, I don't know if it's ignorance or if it's blind ignorance or it's really a choice that they make not to listen, not to act on the information that they have. It's convenient not to when we are still spending dollars on the brands, right? That we are at the same time asking to represent us more, to include us more in their advertising, to include us more in their marketing, to include us more in their content. We continue being the big spenders. that is a lot of what we find. It's like that place of commodity where they're donde se sienten cómodos, so we go with the Spanglish. But we have, so when we started this, really a lot of our work, and that we don't get to talk about this enough, but a lot of the work that we were doing behind the scenes and have been doing for the past 10 years has been activism and marketing, has been working with all these brands to make them understand why it is important to actually allocate meaningful dollars to reach Latinas in a meaningful, impactful, and culturally relevant way. Definitely the last year has seen an increase in the listening and the understanding that, especially the newer generation, like the Gen Z generation, my daughter's generation, she's almost 14, they really are not about the brands. They're about not the global corporate brands. What they care about is who is showing up for them. Who's showing up for them in spaces that matter to them, and who's speaking to them in the way that is important to them, right? That where they feel listened.
And I think part of what's so exciting about what you're doing with what We All Grow Latina is that there are some women, even young women, who still find that the traditional role is the path that they're going to follow, and so it's difficult sometimes to break that, I guess, mindset, to be an entrepreneur, to be self-sustaining, to really find that passion and go after that passion. How do you communicate to them who traditionally in the Latina household, in the Hispanic world, it's not something that's expected?
By showing them. See, the problem is that if you become what you see, right? You go after the dreams that you somehow think are possible to go after. And especially if you don't have a support system around you that is pushing you and allowing you and giving you the wings that you need to pursue that dream, because they will tell you that it's possible. So we do it by showing and by creating spaces for these women to come and find that sisterhood and find that mentorship and find that group of women that are, we'll say si se puede, to use the term that we love so much.
Si se puede.
That's what it is. Like, look, we need to have those role models. We need to have those people that have gone down this uncommon path, down this path where we've had to really find how we're going to play by our own rules, and define or set aside those expectations, and then bring others up with us and and let them know that it's possible.
Now let me just conclude with this, and that is that the path to success, whether it's personal or professional, is never easy. It's fraught with pitfalls, emotional downturns, professional and monetary downturns. We just went through the pandemic. A lot of businesses crashed. A lot of people's dreams were wiped out. How do you encourage people through the tough times?
By focusing on the actual positive stories. We do hear a lot about the negative, about the pandemic. We know it. And the more we hear it, the more we believe that. So what if we bombard us with the actual success stories? We have so many success stories. We have so many. I mean, I'm always saying, I understand the news and I see the news cycle, but the news around me, the woman around me, the Latina woman around me are thriving. I mean, I have stories of one woman that went from making $20,000 in 2019 to making almost $1 million in 2020.
Wow. That's inspirational. And that's really the true message of We All Grow Latina, right?
That's exactly the message. And we're always going to focus on what is positive. We know the stereotypes. We know what, the issues and the problems. And it's not about not bearing them. It's recognizing them, and also recognizing that there's the other side, and that we need to celebrate the stories of success so that we can continue seeing them and being them.
Ana Flores, thank you so much. What a great discussion. Continued success to you, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Carlos.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.